I want to gauge why the video went viral.
Right.
Why did people decide to click and watch on the video? I would look at the thumbnail and the title, hijack the psychology. I would assess whether the audience is a dopamine audience, a serotonin audience, a cortisol audience, a dark side audience. Like, what kind of audience are we dealing with here? Do they like to feel like a buzz, or do they want to feel calm and peaceful? Like, what do they like to feel? And I'll kind of target that.
Well, hi there, and welcome to Side Hustle Hero, the show laser focused on inspiring you to take action to start or to scale your side hustle income streams. I'm your host, Joan Possevi, author of The Way Success Works. Most people who post videos on YouTube are doing it to share their expertise, or promote their business, or showcase their hobbies. But not today's guest. Tony Lysandrides monetizes his YouTube channels by crafting videos with carefully chosen design elements to maximize their chances of going viral, resulting in some pretty impressive paydays. He's not focused on any particular industry or niche. Instead, Tony analyzes what videos are trending and then creates complementary content that can ride that same wave. This approach has paid off, with one video earning him $14,000 in a single month. And get this, Tony doesn't appear in any of his videos, nor does he hire actors. His videos consist of topical clips with voiceovers. In today's episode, Tony explains how he selects his next video subject, the steps involved in production, key decisions to be made, and what it takes for a video to go viral without spending money on ads. In fact, he advises against it. But first, here's a little something fun. If our chats are lighting up your entrepreneurial spark and you're gaining insights, inspiration, and ahas, a fun way to show your support and give the show a caffeinated thumbs up is to head on over to sidehustlehero.com/support, where you can shoot me over a large soy latte, or maybe even a double espresso. It really is a thing over at sidehustlehero.com/support. Thank you from the bottom of my coffee cup. Now here's my conversation with someone who knows how to engineer a video to go viral, Tony Lysandrides. Welcome, Tony.
Thank you.
Well, tell us, what is a faceless YouTube video, and how did you stumble on it doing that as a side hustle?
So a faceless YouTube video essentially is a video without anyone's face on it. This doesn't mean that you can't show any people in the video. It just means that the person behind the video, the creator, is not showing his face. Rather, he's either using his own voice or someone else's voice or an AI voice to speak the script over a video and explain what's happening in the video. That essentially is a faceless YouTube video. And the way I stumbled across into that business model was in the first lockdown of 2020, where I essentially was in sales at the time. I was in selling and installing security systems. And because of the COVID lockdown, I wasn't able to work at my job. So my salary was cut. And I was on what we call in the UK furlough, where we were asked not to come into work. And so I was at home. I had a bunch of time. I also had a bunch of money, which I could invest. So I was looking for different side hustles. And one of the side hustles that I stumbled across was faceless YouTube channels. I bought a course that taught me how to do the faceless YouTube channels. I was pretty confident in it because I had success in it years ago where I wasn't really seeing it as a business model. I was just taking other people's videos and re-uploading them, and they went viral. So I did see potential in it. And so what I ended up doing was applying what I learned in the course, which was to study trends and do similar videos to the ones that are trending on YouTube and ride the waves of virality. And it just kind of went on from there. My first channel was essentially about Dubai because Dubai was trending really well at that time. And so I did a lot of videos about Dubai, and within 8 months, my first YouTube channel got monetized, which essentially, looking back now, that's actually a slow time to get monetized. Right now, I recently monetized 2 channels within 2 months, and they each took around 30 days to monetize them. So right now I can monetize a channel. My average time is like 30 days.
Wow.
But my first channel took like 8 months. And then after the 8 months of monetization, the income started to come in. It wasn't anything special. It was around $200 a month, $200 a month, $200 a month. And then within, I would say, another 10 months, it then began to pick up really well. And then that's when we hit our first $7,000 month. And then after the $7,000 month, it then doubled to a $14,000 month. And then it just went on from there. And then since then, because I had my first YouTube success, I just grew confidence to start new channels. Then I ended up starting 4 other channels that then went on to get monetized. So yeah, that's pretty much how it all happened in a nutshell.
That's a terrific story. That 14,000, that's not every month. That was that specific month, right?
That was our record-breaking month.
Right. And then it drops down from there. It's no longer going viral. Is that the case?
Yeah, so the way it works with YouTube is that you're dealing with algorithms, and there's times where your YouTube will pop off, your YouTube video will pop off and get a bunch of views, and then it will slightly die down, but it will still get views, but it won't get as much as before. So yeah, so that's hence why I went on to start other channels. And what YouTube are kind of doing right now that I didn't have the privilege when I first started 4 years ago doing Faceless YouTube channels was the fact that YouTube are actually promoting smaller channels. And so what I found out is what you can do is open up more YouTube channels under one Gmail. You can have like a bunch of YouTube channels under one Gmail account. And because YouTube are favoring smaller channels,
okay,
you can just start new channels and new niches and just ride new waves, ride new trends, and have that evergreen kind of flow of income. So yeah.
Well, when you started to see that first bit of revenue, how many videos did you have out there?
I think it was probably, I don't remember. I
Yeah.
can't give a specific figure. Probably around 30, 40.
Right. Okay.
30,
So it wasn't
something like that.
it wasn't like one video that you uploaded and it sat there for a bunch of months and then finally took off. You continually were uploading new videos.
Yeah, exactly. And even when like there were times where I felt like giving up completely, Joan, it was like I wasn't seeing results. I was pouring all of this time, energy, money into this channel. I wasn't really seeing results, and I was like feeling very discouraged. I felt like giving up. I felt like, what's the point? But what I believe kept me going is the fact that I think it's called the sunken cost fallacy or the cost sunken fallacy, something like that, which basically means if you've invested so much into something, you're less likely to pull out because you've invested so much. And and that's what pretty much happened with me. I was like, hold on, I've invested so much time, energy, money into this thing. Like, what's the point of pulling out now? It just doesn't make any sense. I might as well go all in or all out, So that's what kind of kept me going. And I thank God that I had that grit at the time because it did work out really well. And yeah, so that's what kept me going.
Yeah, imagine if you had given up. I just did a social media post on that actually a few days ago, explaining because we had just celebrated the 100th episode of this podcast. And anytime we start something, escape hatches will show themselves when it's like, oh man, is this worth it? This was a dumb idea. It's not going to work out. Why don't I just give up? Those options will be presented along the way. And so to combat that, knowing that even before I began, I made the commitment that I was going to produce and drop 52 episodes 1 year. And only then would I give myself the opportunity to reassess and say, okay, do I enjoy doing this? Do I want to continue or not? Because I'll tell you that first year, yes, there were times I wanted to bail. So you got to keep going.
Wow.
Anyway.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Powerful.
Well, walk us through that process from how you land on a topic for a video through to the point where ideally it becomes viral. Where do you even start?
So you would start from YouTube itself. You would scroll through YouTube and look for the information that YouTube gives you. Because when you scroll through YouTube, you can see when a video was posted. It tells you posted 2 weeks ago, posted 2 years ago. It actually tells you when you scroll through YouTube. So you use that data and you see how many views a video has got within how long, like what specific amount of time did it take for that video to get that many views. If you see a video that has got 10 million views, but it was uploaded 5 years ago, then it's most likely that the trend has died down.
Okay.
However, if you see a video that's got 10 million views and that was uploaded 2 weeks ago, and that channel only has like 10,000 subscribers, then you know that there's a trend there because the views are not coming from those subscribers. It's not like a big channel that is well known. It's just they have a viral video that's popping off, that's in the algorithm that people are looking for. And once you see that viral video idea, for example, I like to give this analogy. For example, if a video went viral and that video was how to manufacture steel, and that got like 10 million views within 2 weeks, and it was uploaded by a channel with 10,000 subscribers, and you know that's a trending topic because it has those three key features. What I would do if I was to go into that niche is I will do another video that is entitled how to manufacture copper or how to manufacture diamonds. Like I would look at different precious metals that have been manufactured, and I would look at the psychology of the audience. So essentially, I want to gauge why the video went viral.
Right.
Why did people decide to click and watch on the video? I would look at the thumbnail and the title, hijack the psychology. I would assess whether the audience is a dopamine audience, a serotonin audience, a cortisol audience, a dark side audience. Like what kind of audience are we dealing with here? Do they like to feel like a buzz, or do they want to feel calm and peaceful? Like what do they like to feel? And I'll kind of target that.
Are you determining that based on the thumbnail and the title, or are you looking at the comments, or are you looking at the whole overall vibe? I guess the overall vibe of the video. Is it like hard hitting, heavy metal kind of thing, or is it more blissful walk in the woods kind of video?
Yeah, exactly. I would look at the title, the thumbnail, and I'll look at the video as well. I would also look at the comments, but I wouldn't pay too much attention to the comments. I mean, I will, just to gauge what they're thinking, because different people say different things in the comments. There's always going to be a mixture of audiences in comments.
Okay.
But I usually look at the psychology of the thumbnail and title and what the video is about. So for example, if the video is like a dark side video where they're talking about the dark side of New York and how there's crime in New York and how there's all sorts of dark things happening in New York, but it's got like 10 million views, then I know, okay, that's an audience that likes the dark side of things.
Got it.
They like to hear about crime. They like to hear about torture methods. They like to hear about things that are like dark. So if I know that's the kind of audience I'm dealing with, then I'll do similar videos of that nature and package it the same way as the other video that went viral.
Do you do any research outside of YouTube once you've got, okay, we're going to do this video on the dark side of New York? Is there anywhere else that you go as far as what's being searched on Google or anything like that? Or do you pretty much confine it just to what you can dig up on YouTube?
At the moment, I confine it to YouTube. In the past, I have used Facebook. I would look at what went viral on Facebook, and then I'll duplicate the video on YouTube, and it did work. I have used Google Trends before, but that thing's a bit confusing to use. It's a bit, for me, I've never had amazing success with Google Trends.
Okay.
But yeah, you can look at articles and things that have happened outside of YouTube. But me personally, for the past 2 years, I've just used YouTube itself, and I've used softwares that have helped when you're on YouTube. So there's a software called vidIQ, which enables you to see the views per hour of a YouTube video. So vidIQ is like an extension software that you install into your browser, install into your Chrome extension, and it enables you, when you're scrolling through YouTube, it will tell you which video is getting how many views per hour. So this video is getting 1,000 views per hour, whereas that video is getting 100 views per hour. So you can see when trends have kind of died off. And that's a very useful tool to find out what videos I should be doing.
If we have a listener out there who has some direct experience with this and could chime in, do let me know. But what we were just talking about, other sources outside of YouTube, I've found that my viewership with YouTube for the podcast videos is a younger demographic than, say, my Spotify listeners. So if I am truly going after that ad revenue on YouTube, I think I would confine my research to YouTube. Because if I'm looking at other sources that don't have that same audience, it's going to, confuse me and then distort or skew the research that I'm doing. Does that make sense?
Pretty much. Yeah. You just hit the nail on the head there, Joe. And different audiences tend to be on different platforms. And yeah, like you said, on Spotify, where people listen to podcasts, they seem to be of more of a mature, older audience. But YouTube, even though it is a mixture, but yeah, most young people are on YouTube. Every single young person, even 12-year-olds, even 10-year-olds are having smartphones. There's a huge market for the young people who pretty much everyone has YouTube on their phone right now. It's completely different to when I was at school. And yeah, just 10 years ago, it's been a massive change in the past 10 years. So yeah.
So keep up with the trends.
Have to.
So you've decided on something that's trending. You can continue with whichever example you prefer, the steel one or the dark side of New York. Then what do you do?
So once you found a niche, you would want to stay in a niche. You wouldn't want to jump around from niche to niche. So one day, if you do a video about the dark side of New York, and if that does well, then what you would want to do is you would want to take that framework of the dark side of X city,
Right.
and you would want to change it around. So once you have a video about the dark side of New York that's gone viral, you would want to do another video about the dark side of LA, the dark side of Toronto, the dark side of London, the dark side of Dubai, the dark side of Frankfurt, the dark side of Tokyo, and different places essentially, because people want to see the dark side of things. So you just show them different cities.
Because they have watched the dark side of New York, then the algorithm picks up on that and will feed them these new ones that you've got.
Yeah, essentially, yes. Yeah. So when people watch your video and they end up subscribing to your channel through watching your viral video,
there we go. Yeah.
you attract a bunch of subscribers who are dark side heads, who love dark side stuff.
Right.
And they end up watching your video. They then subscribe to your channel. And when you upload a new video, YouTube begins to push your new video to that audience that subscribe to your channel.
Right. So you've got that topic idea. How do you decide what you're going to talk about and who's writing that or what is writing that script?
It's a good question, Joan. So you have different options as to who you want to write the script. So essentially, when I first started out, I would hire a script writer from the Philippines to write my scripts for me, and all I would have to do is proofread the script. So you can either hire people for a very cheap price on websites such as Upwork, Fiverr, or onlinejobs.ph. So you can get very cheap freelancers in places like the Philippines, Pakistan, Bangladesh. The quality won't be as great as if you was to hire someone from the West, of course, because English isn't really their first language. But you will still get it for the fraction of the price, and you can come in and just change things and just make it sound much better. So that's how you'll get the script for every video.
Are you providing these people an outline?
Yeah, I provide them with the video idea.
Okay.
So I'll tell them the video idea. I will tell them, make it similar to this video. So I'll send them like an example video to model after. And so I'll send them a video to model after, say, watch this video, take notes on the script, and write a similar script for a different topic. And that's what they will do. And then I'll check everything. I'll do the quality controlling. And after we have the script perfected, we will then have a human voiceover speak the script into existence. Or you can get an AI voiceover, which is more cost effective. And there's a website called 11 Labs where you can get cheap AI voiceovers to speak the scripts into existence. And these AI voices, you would never think that they are AI voices. They sound like humans. Yeah.
Wow.
You can even clone your own voice into this website. And yeah, there's just so many voices there that sound so real, and the quality is so real and good and crisp. So that's the voiceover side of things. So that brings the script script to life. And then after that, what you do have is you then have the video editing. So I outsource the video editing to a video editor based in Pakistan, and they will basically put images together with background music, graphics, make it look nice, bring it to life, and so forth. And then after that, the last part of the process is a thumbnail. So we need a thumbnail for the video, and you can either hire a thumbnail designer from Fiverr or Upwork to do the thumbnail for you, and you just direct them as to how you want it to be done. And then you just upload that, and then boom, that's your video done.
Awesome. So as far as the research component, like if you were going to be doing the dark side of London, England, for example, who digs up the content for that?
It depends. Different people have it done different ways, but me personally, I have it done in a sense where the script writer will do the research, and I won't lift a finger. I'll just not fact check, but just proofread the script, make sure that the quality is intact and so forth.
Got it. So your big piece of all this is really narrowing down, determining that topic, coming up with the title.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're contracting out basically all the components of the creation of this thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's essentially what you would want to do. You essentially are the channel manager or the quality controller or the ideation specialist all in one. So, but the good thing about it, Joan, is that you can actually hire someone to replace you. So if you really want to be hands off on the business, I can actually hire somebody to replace me, to do the ideas for me, to do the upload the videos for me, to quality control everything. But yeah, I haven't done that yet. I did do that like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and it didn't really work out. The guy didn't really care much about the channel as much as I did.
Okay.
So essentially, I just had to change things, and I became that role. But yeah, you can eventually, for people who just want to be like hands off, they can just hire someone to do that part as well. I wouldn't recommend it, especially when you first start. Maybe
Of course.
later on.
Yeah. Yeah. When you really
later
know.
on when yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah. And at that point, they could feed you like 5 ideas and you could choose from there.
Yeah.
So the video clips that end up in the video, like the clip art, it's the person that's creating that video at Fiverr, at Upwork, wherever, that's choosing those, putting those based on the information that you've given them, the sample video, kind of the feel of it that you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
okay.
they can either use footage from other people's channels and give them credit. We've never really had any issues in terms of copyright strikes or claims through that. You can use other people's channels, footage from their stuff. You can use footage from Facebook, other media outlets, and just
Whoa,
put
whoa,
it in.
whoa. Let's back that up a second. You can use other people's videos?
Yep. But not fully. Like I
Okay.
wouldn't just like a 5 second clip.
Okay.
But what I do is I give credit to the channel that put that clip on the internet. So I'll put like a note in the bottom left corner that says credit, and then I'll put the name of the channel
Like right on the video.
in the video.
Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So, and I've actually had channels like comment underneath like my stuff saying thank you for giving me credit for using my clip. So I've never had any issues with
Okay.
any channels me using their stuff. In any case, I've actually had them reach out and say thank you for using my stuff. So
I'm glad you mentioned that because I noticed in your Dubai's artificial islands how they were made. You use a couple of clips from the TV show 60 Minutes. And so because they were pretty short, that's why it's not a copyright issue?
I didn't even know.
Really?
That-
Oh, okay. Because I was
I
going to
didn't even-
ask you about that because to me, that's a bit of a credibility piece. It's like, oh, this is from 60 Minutes.
That's interesting because I don't know where this footage comes from.
Okay.
I do believe in that video we did give credit in the bottom left or bottom right corner
Right.
to
Okay.
to whoever, because I did tell my editor at the time to make sure that he gives credit to the channel that we use their stuff from.
Right.
But no, I didn't know. The editor deals with that side of things.
Right.
I just check the video to see if it's nice, and
Hmm.
if he has my approval, we upload it. So
Yeah. No, I thought
Yeah.
I thought it was a smart move. Talk to us, if you would, about the importance of the thumbnail.
Yeah, so the thumbnail is very important because it determines whether your video is going to get 10,000 views or 1 million views. So that's how big of a gap
Wow.
the importance of the thumbnail is. Mr. Beast, who's like right now known as the king of YouTube, he says he spends $5,000 per thumbnail.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
okay.
because he even says the thumbnail determines whether your video, well, in his case, he says his thumbnail determines whether his video is going to get 100 million views or just 10 million views.
Just.
So, yeah,
yeah.
there you go. With him, if Mr. Beast was to do a 10 million view video, that would be a complete failure to him. He's like
Wow.
on that level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's on that level where even if he does a video that did, I would even think if his video did like 20 million views, that would be a complete failure for him because pretty much every video he's doing right now is getting like hundreds of millions of views. Every video. It's insane. But yeah, so the thumbnail is very important. And essentially what you would want to do is hijack the psychology of the thumbnails that have gone viral in your niche. So you would have to understand why people clicked on it. And also, what's also important with thumbnails is the color palette, the color contrast, the colors that go well together. And I asked ChatGPT which colors go well together. And it'll give me a bunch of colors that go well together. And then that's what we would include into the thumbnail. So it's very important to understand in your niche the colors that go well together, because I see this a lot of times where a video or a thumbnail will go viral and when I look at the thumbnail, it has really good colors that go really well together.
Mm.
And then I'll see people do similar videos to that thumbnail,
Yes.
but the colors were not intact. And because the colors were not intact, the video just hardly did any views. So the
Wow.
thumbnail is very important, and getting the colors right is extremely important. That determines whether your video is going to go viral or if it's just going to be forgotten in the sea of forgetfulness.
That's a huge tip, Tony. Thanks for that.
My pleasure.
So you really nailed the interest in how the Dubai artificial island was built, islands.
Yeah.
What are you seeing now trending?
That's a very, very tough question to answer because there's just so many things trending right now.
Okay.
YouTube has billions of viewers and it's getting billions of views every day. And the thing is that there's just so many things trending across all sorts of different niches. And there is something essentially which is called evergreen, meaning that it's always going to be trending, or we call it ever trending. So it will always be trending. It's essentially something that will last forever. For example, the coronavirus was a trend. It came, it went viral, and now it's gone.
Yes.
However, so that's not an evergreen topic. However, what an evergreen topic is health, because people will always want to know about their health, how to lose weight, how to stop smoking, and so forth, how to be healthy. So that is an evergreen niche because there will always be a demand on health,
Money,
or sports, money management, relationships, parenthood, stuff like that. That's very evergreen. So those niches aren't going anywhere. So it's important to be in an evergreen niche. So it's not like you just ride a wave and then it dies out, even though that can get you some quick money, but it just won't be sustainable.
Is there anything other than what we've just talked about that you're doing to boost views? Whether that's, I don't know, paid ads or other strategies you might have?
It's a good question because one of my students was actually asking me this because he was looking for other ways, because I think he's got a lot of cash on hand and he was just looking for other ways to use that as a competitive advantage. But I would have to say the only way to grow on YouTube is to grow organically on YouTube. Stay away from ads. Stay away from, don't put your hope on uploading on other social media platforms and trying to drive traffic into YouTube. That's not sustainable at all. Creating like a Facebook page, creating like a TikTok page, or like an Instagram page and trying to drive the traffic to YouTube, that doesn't work, because usually the type of audiences in those platforms like TikTok, they're very short attention span audience. TikTok is like, the average clip is like what, 20 seconds. So essentially you don't want to be driving a short form audience to a long form platform. So avoid that. So essentially the best way to grow on YouTube is to do it organically, create quality videos that actually add value to people's lives, that actually change people's lives, that help people dramatically. Essentially, it's all about value. You can promote your videos on YouTube, but it's not worth it. One thing I have realized is that I do know someone who did pay for promotions on his videos. And what happened was when YouTube started to promote his videos because he was paying for it.
Yes.
All of the other videos that were organically doing well began to drop.
Ooh, really?
So I would avoid every other method of growth. Avoid buying subscribers because people do that. Avoid buying views because that's not sustainable as well. Because if you buy views or buy subscribers, then what happens is your YouTube, when you upload new videos, YouTube are going to promote your videos to bots. And they're not going to click on your videos. That's going to screw up your click-through rate. YouTube won't promote your videos. So essentially, there is no loophole. The only loophole is to make quality videos, and that's it.
Have you found that there's an ideal or optimal length of the video for the type of videos you're producing?
Yeah, so that's subject to the niche. So depending on what niche you are in. So if you're in a niche where the average view of the video, the average duration of the video is 20 minutes, then you would want to do 20 minutes plus videos. So YouTube are promoting longer videos as well at the moment because they want to keep people on the platform as long as possible. So YouTube are promoting longer form content. And also you actually make more money in that sense, because if you have a longer video, you can put in more in-stream ads. So you can put in ad breaks in between the videos, and the longer your videos, the more ads you can put in. So that increases what we call your RPM. your revenue per
Revenue.
1,000 views. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
revenue
Yeah.
per 1,000 views. So essentially, yeah. So there is no duration that is ideal on YouTube itself, but there is an ideal duration for every different niche. Every different niche has its own duration that's necessary.
Perfect. That makes sense. So let's talk about YouTube revenues. When does a video actually start making money?
So your channel only starts making money from the YouTube AdSense partner program when you've hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, which sounds a bit daunting at first, but it really isn't. You can have one video that pops off and it just does that for you. It only just takes one video for your channel to blow up and get monetized and make a bunch of money. So once your channel is monetized, so essentially after you hit the 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours of watch time, you then have to go through a manual review. So you then apply, you have to apply for monetization, create an AdSense account, link your bank account to that AdSense account so that they pay into your bank account, and then link it in YouTube Studio, and then give it like a day or two, and they pretty much authorize you to be accepted into the partner program. Once you've been accepted into the partner program, yeah, you then start making money straight away. You just click a button that turns on monetization for all your videos. Once all of your videos are turned on for monetization, the money just starts coming in when people start viewing the content from that day forward.
So that's something that you got to pay attention to, which you're going to be anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And that 4,000 hours, that's per year. That's not lifetime, right?
That's in the last 12 months.
Last 12 months.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you go in and apply, get all that set up. And what would a channel have to look like for it to generate, let's say, $2,000 a month? Or should we start at $1,000 a month?
It's a good question. So for a channel to generate 1,000 a month depends on the niche. So some niches are more lucrative than other niches, and this is due to the audience. So channels in niches such as finance do very well. They have a very what we call high RPM, up to like $15. So for like a channel, even $20, I believe. So you have a 20. I think it was Graham Stephan. He's in the finance niche. I think his RPM's like $20. So that's for 1,000 views, he'll get $20. So for him to get $1,000, he will just need
50.
So 50,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would just need 50,000 views a month. However, if you're in a lower niche, if you're in a niche that hasn't got such a high advertising budget like the finance niche, because the reason why the finance niche is so lucrative is because the advertisers have a higher advertising budget on those videos. So when you click on those videos, you're going to have personalized ads, which is based on finance, and they have a higher advertising budget, and that's why the creator gets a huge split. Well, not a huge split, but a split of the revenue, which is high already. So that's pretty much why. So he will need 50,000 views.
And the creator has zero say in what ads run, correct?
Yeah, they have zero say in what ads run, but they being in a niche kind of gives it away. So if they're in the finance niche, they're going to have finance ads.
Yep.
If they're in the health niche, they're going to have ads that's relating to health and so forth. If you're in a niche which the RPM, let's say, is like $5, to make $1,000, you're going to need.
It's going to be 4 times that.
Yeah, so it'll be 200,000 views for $1,000 if your niche has a $5 RPM. So it depends which niche you're in, and there's different ways to increase the RPM. So the RPM is very important to seek to up that or push that up, because that's like a multiplier. Okay. You can see the difference between 50,000 views and 200,000 views. You get 4 times or 5 times the less amount of views, and yet you get pretty much the same money. So the RPM, essentially, there are ways to like increase that. One of the ways we just talked about, increasing the length of your videos so that you can whack in more in-stream ads. And yeah, so that's one way to increase the RPM. Another way is to change up the script of the video. So when the voiceover is speaking the script, you would want to mention some keywords that actually increase your RPM. And the way you can find that out is you just go on ChatGPT. Let's say you're in the basketball niche and you do videos about basketball. You can just go on ChatGPT and say, list me 20 keywords that have a high RPM or high advertising budget for Google or YouTube, in the basketball niche, and then it would list out a bunch of keywords that you can use. And when
Really?
you, yeah, seriously. And once
Wow.
you do that, you plug that into the video, you have the voiceover say that those keywords, and that increases your RPM because the advertisers are going to assume that those videos are there. And I actually spoke to someone recently about who actually has run Google ads before, because YouTube is owned by Google. When people put adverts on YouTube videos, they are Google adverts. It's from Google. So essentially, when people advertise on the YouTube platform, they have to specify keywords that they want their adverts to be shown in. So if there's a keyword of finance, or if there's a keyword of trading or forex or cryptocurrencies, they say, okay, these are the keywords we want to put our advert in front of.
Got it.
And each keyword has a different budget. And so when they have a high budget, we creators, we get a piece of the piece of the pie. So that's how it works.
Now that's an insider tip. No, that's brilliant. Thank you. I got to figure out how to do that for podcasts. So 50,000 views a month, 200,000 views a month, 100,000 views a month. Is that doable for most people?
Oh yeah, it depends on your niche. And
Right.
essentially, if you do it right, if you learn and you see what's trending, it's not rocket science. All you have to do essentially is see what's trending, improve the video, do a slightly longer video, and hijack the psychology, get the colors right in your thumbnail, and it's pretty much very simple.
And if you wanted to do that, most of that work yourself, at least initially, in the areas that you are competent at, for example, if you're not a graphic artist, get somebody else to do the thumbnail kind of thing, you could create that for a few $100, couldn't you? The first
Oh,
video.
a thumbnail, you can get that done for $10. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I meant the whole thing, start to finish, uploaded, finished, done.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
can even get that for $50, depending on the quality. So the lowest that I've ever had a video done, I think, was like $20.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it wasn't the best quality, but it was still decent, and it still did get a bunch of views. But essentially, I focus more on quality than quantity than what I did in my
Yes.
previous days, in my early days of YouTube. I was just focusing on farming videos, getting stuff out there, and eventually something will explode, which it did happen. But now I have more of a sustainable mindset where I really want to focus on the quality of the videos and add real value to people's lives, so that it's more sustainable. People come back, people share the video, and it's a genuine thing that stays viral. And so yeah, that's my focus right now, and that's why I teach my students: focus on quality. It's all about adding value to people's lives. It's not just about just throwing a bunch of spaghetti on the wall and hoping something sticks. Those days are long gone, and too many people are doing that right now. They're just
Yes.
farming videos, throwing a bunch of spaghetti on the wall, hoping something will stick. Yeah, but it doesn't work like that anymore.
So, well, how much are your videos earning you now?
It varies every month due to algorithms and people's interests. Sometimes you'll have a spike in a few months, like I had that $14,000 month, and then it can be slightly lower, like a $5,000 month.
Sure.
So it varies every month.
And
But
how
yeah,
often are you uploading a new video?
I aim for 3 videos a week. So sometimes it's 3 videos in a week, sometimes it's 2 videos in a week. So yeah.
And again, the amount of time that's going to take somebody is really dependent on how much of their own personal involvement, how good they are at it. I would imagine you're much more efficient doing what you're doing now versus that first 50 that you did.
Yeah, 100%. And
Yeah.
you make mistakes, and things come through experience. And essentially, yeah,
Mm.
you learn through your mistakes that you make, and you just have to learn from your mistakes and not sit in a corner and cry about them. So
Have
yeah.
you ever had one of those instances where you've uploaded the video, it's starting to gain traction, but there's something that you wanted to change or wasn't right, and it's like, oh damn, I can't pull it out now. Or if you pull it down, you got to start from the beginning, right?
Yeah, and actually YouTube actually gives you the option of, once a video is uploaded, you can actually crop parts out of the video, which is
Really?
interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go on YouTube Studio, you can go on videos, and you can click editor, and then you can actually trim, like cut the video shorter,
Okay.
or like take a small part of the video and edit it out, or you can actually blur things out. So you can blur out like things you don't want to be seen. So if you like put your credit card details there, you can actually go back and blur it
Right.
out. So yeah.
Okay, good tip. Hopefully I'll never have to use it. What's been your experience with doing YouTube Shorts for this?
So YouTube Shorts, I've had a few good experiences with YouTube Shorts. People are kind of trending. It is slightly trending now that they're paying slightly more on the Shorts. But I just focus on long form content because it has much more of much higher RPM. So it's easier to get views on Shorts, but it's not. They don't have a high RPM. So
Okay.
I believe it's like 10 cents for 1,000 views. So if you do want to make a good income, you're talking about hundreds of millions of views,
Okay.
which is not impossible. There's a bunch of channels doing that. But me personally, I just like long form content. I have done shorts on my other channels. And one thing I have realized with shorts is I had a short that actually blew up and it started doing like, how long has it been doing? It blew up and it got like a few million views. And when
Nice.
that short blew up, it just started it just started feeding traffic to my other videos that were long form videos.
Wow.
And
Nice.
then I made a lot of money from that. But then that short died down after like a few months. I would say even a year. It was actually trending for a good year.
Hmm.
But yeah, so shorts are good, but I would just focus on long form content because it's just more efficient that way.
Thinking of long-term income for someone, that 4,000 hours per, it is the last 12 months, so it's not every year. So you would have to consistently maintain that in order to continue to get revenue. Would that be correct?
Yeah, so essentially your channel um would want to sustain the 4,000 hours of watch time a year. Otherwise, your channel will be demonetized. So yeah, you would want to keep that on.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is periodically I'll get a really good tip from a video, but it's like 6 years old. And you could
Uh-huh.
see that it's not active, but the content that the person posted originally is really good. And it's like, gosh, I still hope this person's getting money off of this because it's a great tip. But all right, but you just answered that. So, Tony, what does it take to be successful on the platform, do you think?
I would say that what takes to be successful on the platform is understanding your competitive advantage and using it to your advantage. For example, everyone has a competitive advantage. Everyone is unique. Some people have more time on their hands than others. You can use that to your competitive advantage. Some people have more money than others. Use that to your competitive advantage. Some people might be good at recruiting. Use that for your competitive advantage. Hire the best, fire the rest. If you're
Mm.
good at managing people, you're good at motivating people, use that for your competitive advantage. If you're creative, if you're artistic, then use that to your competitive advantage. So
Yep.
you'll want to use
Yep.
what you have to get what you want.
So you've partially answered this then. My next question was, what's the number one reason people are not successful at doing this? What are they doing wrong? What are they screwing up?
People don't succeed in this area because they want results straight away and they
Mm.
don't understand that it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. So they need to understand that it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's a marathon that you need to be willing to get your skin in the game and be in it for the long term. Even though you can have success pretty quickly, like I can monetize a channel in 30 days right now, and it's not impossible. It just takes one video to blow up and then you're there. So it's not that complicated or difficult. So yeah, I would say people lack patience. That's why they
Yeah.
fail.
Yeah. And that's also, several years, more than several years now doing this for you under your belt that you got the ability to do that. Someone posting their first video. Yes, it might go viral, but if not, don't be too disappointed. Keep at it, right? Do you recommend your students do something, post a video a week for at least the next 12 weeks or like some sort of guidance like that as far as describing a runway for them?
Yeah, I usually jump on a call with them and figure out a plan that will work for them, depending on where they are. And essentially, I always tell them, yeah, aim for 3 videos a week without compromising quality, because a lot of people
Mm.
they
Hmm.
do the 3 videos a week, but they compromise on the quality. So essentially, you would want to be careful of that, and you would want to, yeah, don't compromise on quality. If you can do 3 videos a week without compromising on the quality, then do it, because you're gonna win much quicker than if you was just doing a video a week.
And I would imagine that it would be better to back down on the quantity, like 2 videos a week. Or is that important that they nail the 3, or could they do 2 a week if just time didn't allow it, but in order to maintain that quality?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
2 a week will
Okay.
work.
Yeah. And that's
Um,
okay, because I had heard for as far as like the YouTube algorithm that the consistency was really important.
Was it very?
or not so
Yeah,
much?
yeah, it is. Not as much as it's very weird because I like to replace the word algorithm with the word audience.
Ah, okay.
And essentially I don't think it matters much if your video is posted once a week or once a month. If the quality is like crazy level, then you're good to go.
Okay.
Because I have seen channels out there that post like once a month, but the video is like insane, like Hollywood level editing and like really good quality. And the
Hmm.
ideation is very, very good. And
Okay.
so if your idea is like top notch and your editing's top notch and you've invested thousands into the production of that thing,
Right.
yeah, I've seen channels like that where they just focus mainly on quality and they only upload like one video every 4 months and they still go viral
But
because they're just so super focused on quality. So that is a route they
nice.
can go down, but it's more risky for me to go down that route
Sure.
because it's like you're investing a lot of money into just one video and it's like, yeah, unless you have hundreds of thousands to invest, or I wouldn't go down that
Right.
route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the best way for our listeners to connect with you, Tony?
So I do have a website. The website should be linked below for people to connect with me. And yeah, just click the link and we can connect through there.
And I'll make sure the links for people to find you are in the show notes. And when they do click on that link, what are they going to discover?
So on the link, it just asks you to fill out your information. Once you fill out your information, there's like a free video training that teaches you more on this. Then there's a link below. If you don't want to watch the training and you feel like you've kind of learned a lot here, then you can just click straight on the link below, which it says click book a call with Tone, and you can book a call with me there. And then that's if you're interested in the paid program or the course and the community. So you can join through there. So yeah.
Sweet. Well, I'm going to tap your brain one more time. So what's the best tip to inspire others to start or grow their side hustle?
Let the pain be so intense and so uncomfortable to the point where you don't need motivational videos. You don't need anyone to motivate you or tell you to do anything because the pain within is greater than anyone else's motivation. Pain about struggling day to day, the pain about not having too much month at the end of the money.
Right. And this is one path to solve that.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Tony, for your insights on this, for guiding us through on how to profit from video automation, and of course, for being today's side hustle hero.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, Joan.
Until I met Tony, I did not know that faceless videos were a thing. It seems to me a fun opportunity for someone who has a desire to create videos for YouTube, but doesn't want to be an upfront spokesperson. This side hustle, like many of the ones we've shared, is pretty straightforward in terms of the steps that need to be taken. But keep in mind that it's very rare that someone will experience overnight success. For most of us, we need to put in the time and give it a proper runway to see the results. You heard Tony say that at one point he wanted to quit. That, of course, was before his $14,000 month. By the way, the video that generated that has 22 million views. It's the one about how Dubai's artificial islands were made. And I'll be sure to add a link to it in the show notes so that you can take a look. I encourage you to make a commitment to yourself that when you launch your side hustle, you're going to stick with it for a predetermined length of time. As I mentioned, I guarantee you somewhere along the line in those early days, an escape hatch will appear, an opportunity to give up. Will you take it or will you persevere? My friend and mentor Bob Proctor used to say that the definition of discipline is giving yourself a command and then following it. Make a promise to yourself and keep it. Be sure to have that integrity with yourself. Commit to giving it your best at least until some future date that you set. And then on that date, you can reevaluate and decide your next steps. Will you switch gears or will you give it more time? Well, that's a wrap for today. You'll find links to all the websites we mentioned, including Tony's, and the full show notes at our website, sidehustlehero.com. If you're enjoying what you're seeing in this podcast, it would be so appreciated if you would take a moment and add your comment, share the episode, and please subscribe. It'll let others know that there's valuable content here to help them start or grow their side hustle. Thanks for watching, and hustle on.